Yo, Flurfs, it's good to see you guys all. Thank you for coming. I'm glad to have you here on this awesome hot evening. We got Sovereign Soul and PJ Cruikshank in Restream. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
That's good. It's good. Yeah,
CC decided to join us.
But it's good to see you guys. Appreciate. I love the space dogs as well. They really are the final frontier for us. So yeah, guys. After this stream, I'm going to be debating FTFE on modern day debates, which is going to be exciting. The guy thinks he's got something, but boy, do I have something for him. Okay, just to give a heads up on stuff, I just got back now from a bribe from my friends and them, and it's now 10 to, it was 11:45. And I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, only went to bed 2 o'clock this morning. And so I'm staying awake right through the night now. So if you do see me dozing off, just give me a slap.
I've
got my caffeine.
You don't have a poke option in Restream like you do on Facebook, do you?
I got my caffeine ready, so yeah, it's good to be. And by the way, I got that clove oil today.
Ooh.
I'm just waiting for my honey. I should get my honey tomorrow.
My honey. I've got my honey. Vicky's called my honey.
Honey, baby, honey.
That's her surname, isn't it? Mahoney.
Mahoney. But yeah,
talking about you, Vicky.
But yeah, it's good to see you guys. I'm just going to shout at everybody in the chat quickly. Lev Kung Fu, what's up, man? Vicky, always glad to have you here. Really appreciate everything she does. Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind, glad to have him here. I don't know who that Sovereign Soul is. I mean, it's like just popping up everywhere, demolishing people like Craig. So
you know.
Norman Cross, great to have you in, mate. I'm so happy it's sorted. It didn't show you as blocked, so I don't know what's going on. But then again, it didn't show a lot of people as blocked. Hello, Stick ZA, good to see you too. Glad you made Saddle Bum. What's up? No longer on the ball. Glad you could make it. YouTube. Hello. David John Rivington McDonough, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you can make it. And I'm trying to go down to see who else is here. I think that's everybody. Well, it's and Carter Apple. Thanks for coming. So, do you think we're going to actually get somewhere with this Eric Dubay stuff?
Well, it depends on what he next says, isn't it? But I doubt it.
Because I still haven't got a response from him or Mike. So it tells you they don't want to actually have answers because they specifically said, nobody wants to answer me. Nobody wants to actually show love and talk to me. Well, we're tagging them. We're letting them know, come and talk to us. We're more than happy to show love. Unfortunately, the love we're going to be showing is stern love because
tough love.
Yeah, it's tough love. Exactly. That's how it works. But yeah, we have let them know if you guys want to go and comment on Dubay's video and tell him, dudes, what's up? You want us to talk to you, but you don't want to talk back. What's going on?
From what I understand, he's got great information. He's put out some really fantastic videos that have awakened a lot of people to the flat earth. He just doesn't play well with others. I mean, exactly. I've heard that from multiple people, that he just kind of like his own little standalone thing. He doesn't want to really collaborate or anything with anybody else. So I don't know what's behind all that, but
yeah, it's a bit weird. Hey Lumpy, good to see you, man. Glad you could make it. And T2L2, what's up? But yeah, it's odd. It's almost like he's maybe got some kind of got a big head now. Like he's becoming snobbery, you can say. Like he thinks he's better than the rest of the community.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's usually people like that usually come crash down and burning at some stage. It's because true. God definitely puts people in place when they think they're above. Let's put it that way.
I call it Ziggy Stardust syndrome. Have you ever heard that song, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie? Yeah, they were a great band, but Absolutely. Ziggy sucked up into his mind, right? That is ego killing. Ego's the killer, man. Ego's the killer. If you think about this, when you see in the cartoons, you got the little angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder. That's your higher conscience and your ego.
Yeah.
That's what that is. The ego's the devil's, your higher conscience is God. That's, I mean, in that respect, that you will do things against your higher conscience in order to satisfy your ego. Even though you know something's wrong, you'll do it. This is why people will steal stuff. They figure they're not going to get caught. There's no harm, you know, that kind of thing. That's where it comes from right there.
Yeah.
It's an imbalance.
That's true. Hey, Spuddy, what's up? So, I think we should get to it because we can only do the stream until about 20 to 2 about. Because then it's the debate against Craig. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there for the debate as well. Are you guys going to be coming?
Yeah, they'll be
absolutely.
There.
Awesome.
You're
restreaming
here on this channel too, right?
Yes, I'm doing it on my channel.
That's where I'm going to be watching it at.
Yeah, so people, please do support my channel and come on my channel and actually support me. So it would be great to see you guys.
Throw that out the community post.
Like I said, we're going to start like 22 or something, quarter to, so we can have a quick pre-show debate before the debate. And then depending how late the debate ends, we can maybe have an after show. You guys keen on that?
Absolutely.
So sorry, PJ, you're going to be up all night, mate.
It looks like it, doesn't
it? Spuddy, I did stick a schedule up in my channel, so you can go and check it there. It's by me. It's 2 a.m. Central African time. The debate against Craig. So, okay, I think we can start this, and stop me anytime you need to.
Unaffected from all these questions and the mystery that abounds around us, and you can just be the authority and say, "Well, I know what it is. It says right here." But you know, reality is far more mysterious than any book I've found answers. And I've read all the religious books. And
I highly doubt that you've read all the religious books. You don't even know the Bible at all.
And maybe that's the problem, reading religious books.
Exactly. What's up, November? Good to see you. And Bill, good to see you. But I mean, that's the thing. He's claiming he's read all these books, religious, holy books and whatever.
Yeah.
But the first two series, we actually see it looks like he's never even opened the Bible because the things he said does not stand in the Bible at all.
No.
So I think that's quite clear cut that he might be lying to you people. But like we said, Eric Dubey's flat earth stuff, great, on point, gets a lot of people to flat earth. But when it comes to this subject, I think he should stay far away from it.
I find the different aspects of theology very interesting. You know, for myself, I have a Book of Mormon. I have an NIV. I have a replica of an original 1611 King James Bible. I have the Book of Mormon, the Quran, all these different books. And I've gone through them, you know, not sat down and read them whole out in one thing, but I look and see how they compare to one another. And if somebody has a reference to one of these books, I want to go and look for myself.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what I do. And especially with the KJV, I go right to the original 1611, right to the original. Why do I do that? Because the way it was written, the way the verbiage is, the way the words are spelled, and the way the calligraphy is drawn is very, very important to the message when you read it that way, as opposed to just the print that they put in a regular Bible that you're looking at. Even just because when you understand that each one of the letters of our alphabet is actually a pictogram and actually has a meaning to it. That when you put these words together, those letters actually describe the word itself just through pictures. Now they've obscured that by removing letters and changing spellings and things like that. You don't get the full context of it.
Yeah, and it's been watered down through all the translations and stuff as much. But I mean, if you look at the original Hebrew dialect they used, they had symbolism for each letter. The Hebrew we have today is actually a watered down version from that Hebrew.
Yep.
From Paleo Hebrew. Paleo Hebrew was much more in depth and had much more meaning. So yeah, it's definitely been watered down. Hey Jeff, what's up? So yeah,
I'm saying, like you say, in John it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then when you go to the Jehovah's Witnesses, the one, like Michael keeps saying, it puts an A in there. The Word was a God. That one little letter and word, same thing, letter and word, changes everything. Do you know what I mean? It implies that there's more than one Almighty, you know?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, we can probably have a Trinity stream as well. Because people have different views on the Trinity, if it's monotheistic and stuff. But I think there's great ways we can discuss this, because there's obviously disagreements between people. But that's how life works. Hey, Brian Shuka, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. But let's carry on with these two people that trying to slag off Christianity that's never obviously read the book of the Bible ever. They've never read the Bible and want to slag it off.
While they all may point to truth, none of them have a monopoly on it, and none of them have convinced me so well that I suddenly want to cloak myself in that label and now be a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jainist, or any other ist or ism, because I find reality far more mysterious than that. And if it's so easy to pick apart reality that you just pick one path that's already been chosen, what are we even alive for? I actually enjoy the detective work of this mystery.
What? Does that make any logical sense to you?
Not to me, no.
So,
I think he's trying to be cryptic.
yeah, so in other words, his excuse for not choosing a quote-unquote religion, he likes detective work. You know, it doesn't really take a detective to know which is the true way of life. Can anybody tell me which quote-unquote religion is the only religion in history where the God comes and dies for you and says you don't have to do anything to do good for him?
Would that be Christianity, the one where you have a
I
relation?
wonder, yeah.
You know?
Do you know that's the only one in history to ever, not your works get you into heaven, but God came to pay for your sins so you can get to heaven. Every single other religion in history is you have to do works, you have to sacrifice, you.
Yeah.
And then you might get to heaven. Jesus is the only begotten Son of God, no longer on the ball. Begotten means born. So he became flesh. Jesus was still God, just he is the begotten Son of God. But like I said, we can definitely have a stream on this so we can give all the verses that shows even Jesus proclaiming to be God.
Yeah. He's definitely God to me. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's maybe a stream we should also do, just with all the Muslim streams as well. Sav, you interested in doing a Muslim stream sometime? Bring up your Quran and we can all go through some scripture.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
I think that'd be great. Because,
Right
by the way, guys, the Quran is a flat Earth book too, so it's actually in line with our niche.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they refer to Jesus as a righteous prophet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, they see him as a righteous prophet, exactly.
Not seeing that in the Talmud.
Okay.
That is an interesting part of this reality, and that could be part of the answer to this question, is that we are meant to question this reality, and that is the escape route if you're fully satisfied with this reality and you don't find it to be negative at all, maybe you belong here. Maybe this is your heaven to reincarnate to. And maybe the only people actually deserving of somewhere better are the people that can notice that things aren't quite right here and that we should be somewhere else.
Oh, like just like the Bible says, this place is temporary. Yeah, something's not right here. What might not be right on Earth, guys? Wow. But yeah, I find it very ironic. He wants to say, so if you don't question it, then maybe you deserve to be here. What? Okay.
Well, I hope that's what it is, because one of my other big questions is, okay, if we accept that this reality is not presided over by a benevolent God, as we prefer to assume that it is, then how the hell do we get out of here? Because I don't remember ever signing up to be here in the first place. In fact, one of my very earliest childhood memories is as a young boy looking at myself in the mirror, staring at my reflection and thinking, this is a mistake. I shouldn't be here.
Wow.
And actually, I wasn't supposed to be here anyway, because
you were supposed to be here, dude. You were definitely supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
That's
be
a
here.
very messed up way. It's a very messed up way of looking at life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you won't be here. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here.
But there's the big mistake. There's the big mistake. He said, if this world is governed by a benevolent God, no, the world is governed by Satan.
That's
It
right.
clearly says that. It states that he was cast to earth, man. That's it. Y'all want to follow that guy? Go right ahead. Let's see how you do for yourselves. That was the whole thing. Okay. It wasn't. I don't know where they get this idea, because God said that's what the whole thing of getting of being sent out of the garden was. It's like, oh, okay, you think you can do just fine on your own with this guy's advice? Go ahead. There you go. There you go. Let's see how you do. Well, now he's seeing how we do. There are people that see beyond that, and those are the people that are trying to shy away from the world, the worldly aspect of everything, which is mired in materialism and greed, and of course every other thing that is sinful and bad is what incorporates this world. So it stands to reason you can't. We made that choice. We made that choice. Now it's how do you want out of it or not?
So
Exactly. But I think, as I'm going to reiterate, just like I said the last part in the series, if you're going to have a negative outlook on life, all your deductions on life, your perspective is going to be negative.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately what's happening with these two guys.
yeah, if you're pessimistic and cynical, then everything that's portrayed or conveyed from you is cynical and pessimistic. You know what I mean? If you see everything that way, then that's how it's got to, from that henceforth, going to be. You know,
the guy up there on the left should know this. He should know this. That you manifest your reality, man.
Exactly.
99% of your problems are self-created. People don't even realize that, man. People, why am I broke all the time? Because you're always wondering why you're broke all the time. That's why you're manifesting your own poverty.
Exactly. Words have power, guys. Why do you think I always tell you to say positive things? Why do you think when psychologists tell you when you wake up in the morning, you want to be successful, look yourself in the mirror and say positive things? Yeah, because it's manifestation. It's you manifesting positivity into your life. Exactly that.
because my parents were told that they would never have kids. But along I popped, stupid me for some reason, and here I am trying to make sense of it and figure it all out. But I think if you're someone who naturally asks questions, eventually you are.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a problem to start off with. He's being self-deprecating just off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worth anything. But,
Right.
do you know what I mean? What am I doing here? You know, that's cynicism from the start. You know,
Not I
Exactly.
was created for a purpose. What is my purpose? Not
Exactly.
even looking at it that way. I'm just a meat sack that's forced to be here and be alive. Blah blah blah. Everything sucks. I'm just going to try to make it through. That's
Exactly.
a hell of an attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean that totally contradicts the flat earther,
Yeah.
because we're supposed to be here for a purpose. Didn't they say that in part 1?
Mhm.
We're here for a purpose. We got created. Now they're
Mhm.
trying to say, oh, I'm not supposed to be here, so it's a mistake. So that's, yeah, it's a contradiction. So, yeah.
Are going to arrive at this point and ask, what is the very nature of my existence? Why am I here? And how do I get out of it? So with me, it was a layered thing. You know, I took my first baby steps looking into the music conspiracy theories, and you come across the one about Paul McCartney. You know, the real Paul McCartney died in 1966, according to the popular theory, and he was replaced by an imposter. That one is not as simple as it appears on the surface. And you realize that there are no easy answers, but you'll have people insisting that there are. So you'll have researchers saying, oh, yeah, McCartney died in 1966 and the guy we got today is not the original one, definitive fact. Then you'll have somebody else that will say, no, this is the original Paul McCartney. We've still got him with us and there's no evidence to show that he died. Then you'll have someone muddying the waters and saying, actually, there's been 2 Paul McCartneys all along and we've just seen them paging in and out of the roll.
And what does that got to do with anything with what you're busy discussing?
That's
It seems to me that they're just trying to push every conspiracy down here. You know what I mean? To
whether
try
it's
and
Paul,
give
whether
the
it's Paul or
nihilistic worldview.
exactly. Whether it's Paul or fake Paul, that's nothing to your walk. You know, it's nothing to your walk. That's just information. It doesn't it shouldn't affect you at all.
Exactly.
So everyone insists that they've got the right answers, but they can't all be right. They're either all wrong or somebody's right and somebody else is wrong. But everyone will insist that they're right. And you get the same thing
What's up,
with
Mojo Shop?
religions. So a Christian will say, my holy book is the correct one, my God is the right one to believe in, and anyone else is a blasphemer and, is going to hell. Then a Muslim will come along
No,
and say,
that's not what we say. It's not what a Christian says. That's totally misrepresentation.
We say God doesn't want anyone to perish. Obviously, people will perish, but He doesn't want anybody to perish. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
well, I would start off by saying, "You're all doomed to hell. You're all going to hell." You know what I mean? That's not how I would start it off. I would tell the truth, like, but that's not
How do Christians usually approach this way of what you're saying? A Christian would usually go and say, do you know that God came and died for your sins? That He loved you so much that He came and became flesh and got hated by His own creation for you, to give you a chance to accept Him and spend eternity with Him. That's how Christianity would say it, not the way He said it.
Yeah.
LJ, thank you for your $2 super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. He says, rip to the spinning space ball with curved sea water. Amen, brother. It's going to be a fun debate. And you guys want to see Craig get triggered tonight? Tonight's the night.
I saw somebody left. I saw somebody left in your chat for the thing already. They'd said if you get him triggered by calling him Felicia, that he'll pay you a couple $100.
$200, yeah.
I'll do that. I'll call him Felicia. I'm going to bring up biblical earth as well because he's doesn't want me to debate biblical earth.
That was the original. That was the original topic.
That was
my original topic. So I'm definitely going to bring up biblical earth, and if he's got a problem, I'm going to say, but that's what the flat earth is, biblical earth. I thought you said you debate flat earth against flat earth and globe earth. So that's debating biblical earth. And then he's going to say, but I only do science. And I said, dude, you don't know science even if it hits you in the face.
No doubt. I mean, that became evident the other night when I talked to him. He was like, when I said demonstrate, and he said, well, we have a gradient. Well, no, I've already explained why you have a gradient. All right. That does not give you the downward acceleration of air. Show me that. Show me this gravitational pull on air that you claim.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But they don't understand. By pointing to the sky is not a demonstration. We can do exactly the same. They can say, okay, show me a container. Okay. Pointing to the sky. Well, the reason I'm pointing to the sky is because we have pressure gradients, because we're contained. There we go. We can do exactly the same as them.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Say, no, you've got it wrong. My God's the right one. Hindu will say something else, and so on. They can't all be right. But everyone wants to insist that they've got the answers. And when it comes to these questions of theology that we're all asking now, and I do find it interesting that you and I arrived at a similar point at a similar time, because I'd not seen your videos at the point I started making mine. And then a few people said, oh, you should look at Eric Dubay's videos because he's asking the same questions as you. So something caused both of us to, start asking these questions at the same time. And people will come along and try to provide the easy answers. So you've got the religious folk, and they'll just regurgitate whatever it says in their special book. But then you've got the more new agey types. And this was a mindset that I kind of adhered to for quite a number of years. I've been an atheist. That didn't make any sense to me up to a point. So I spent about 15 years being an atheist. Then I came to realize, no, of course, there's got to be a creative, generative force, because here we are, we're evidence.
Whoa. Creative, generative force. What the hell is he talking about? What creative force?
Don't know what he's talking about.
You just make up words.
It's crazy. And LJ, I really support your appreciate your support on this channel, man. You rock. Hey, Brittany, Bandman, good to see you. So, in other words, he was an atheist, and then he got into New Age, like he said. Is that how I understand it? You guys, is that how he said it?
Sounds a bit like that, yeah.
Now, wonder why he doesn't know how Christianity. New Age is not Christianity.
It certainly isn't. Even though they try and bring it into Christianity nowadays, I mean, you do get some churches that are bringing New Age into it, but yeah, they're that's not the Christianity you want to get into.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Of it. So something created us. It's absurd to deny that. It's just a question of what it is. And then the more new agey mindset is that, oh, well, in spirit soul form, we choose to incarnate here into these meat suit bodies and undergo these experiences, and we choose the lives we're going to have. We choose our parents, we choose our families. And if you're suffering in your life, it's because your soul chose that. So apparently, a child who is wheelchair bound from the earliest age and is in and out of hospital their entire life and maybe only lives to about...
That's just rubbish.
Can I just say we had someone that was kind of on the panel that kind of believed that? I'm not going to say his name, but you know who I'm on about, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, he believed in that, and yeah, the amount of times we tried to witness to him, and it didn't matter what we said, umpteen times, it just didn't make a difference. He kept believing that kind of stuff, and it's not good. Not good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, guys, do subscribe to Sovereign Soul, guys. He's got an awesome channel. Really, really well worth it. Dave, you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, man. Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind over here on YouTube. I also have a backup called Sob's Place. The link is on the main channel, and you can find me at SSUM369 over on Rumble. And I usually go live most nights of the week. Tonight, I'm probably not going to because there's so much going on. And my son also has a show this evening, too. So I'm not wanting to take a lot of my audience is your audience and is my son's audience. So I'm just going to lay back for a little bit, let you guys do your shit, man. And that's
yeah, and guys, do subscribe to Soft's son's channel as well. You can really appreciate the subscribes.
Oh
If you
yeah,
got the link, so I'll stick it in for people, then they can.
Miss Mod already did it. She already
Oh,
put my
yes, yeah, no,
son's
awesome.
channel in the chat. That's really great. He was surprised as shit. He goes, "What the hell?" He said, "My subscriber count went up a whole bunch." And I says, I says, "That's probably because I was talking about you on Flatzoid, and we put your link." And I said, "And we went. I was talking about you on another channel too." And he goes, "Wow, thanks." I mean, he went up like by 70 subscribers just from
Oh,
doing
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Then I
That's
really want to say thank you, guys. It shows you guys do care and you support the people. So thank you very, very much.
it. Well, speaking
You
of which,
guys rock.
Look
You
at me.
guys will agree we got an awesome audience.
I like the name of his channel, though. From the Corporate Fiction.
Yeah.
For the corporate fiction, yeah. And one of his pet peeves is stop calling it a straw man. I hate that. They always use that. And but it's a good, to me, it's a good way to exemplify how people don't realize that there's actually two of them running around and they don't know it. One of them is your corporate fictional entity, and the other one is your living flesh body. You think they're one and the same, but they're not.
Yeah. Shame Stick said, hey, if you don't like that we talk about things what we want on my show, that's your problem. We're still going to go over it. We've still got a long time to go on this show. And he's going to make the same point the whole time about being atheist and the same point about showing his nihilistic worldview. He's just saying the same thing over and over, regurgitating in different wordly fashion. So
Yeah.
it's nothing new.
11, 12 years of age, and then some horrific disease finishes them off, chose that. If you're a torture victim or a serial killer victim who's horrifically mutilated and dies that way, you chose that according to these people. That doesn't make any sense to me anymore.
No.
And then you've got the whole memory wipe thing, where people who claim that we have multiple lives and we come back time after time to undergo experiences and learn lessons, and our souls need these experiences to grow. Somehow you've got to explain how it is that your mind gets wiped every time you come in, so you forget.
That'd be nonsensical, though. If it gets wiped, then what's the point of getting reincarnated to try again?
There's no learning there, is there? He's getting wiped.
If you're just hitting the reset the whole time, then what's the point?
Well, that's that whole theory about a soul trap. And that reincarnation. I was talking with some people one night about that, and I was thinking, oh my God, these people always talk about a tunnel. I myself didn't see a tunnel, but these people talk about a tunnel with a brilliant light at the end of this tunnel and shit. What if that's you re-emerging again from a birth canal and you start crying and you're going, oh my God, not this again, and then your memory gets wiped out.
And then you realize, no, you're just standing in a train tunnel. It's a train coming towards you. Yeah, guys, please subscribe to PJ Cruikshank's channel as well. You want to shout out your channel, PJ?
It's fine. It's mostly fishing stuff on there, but lately I've started to put some biblical stuff in. Not so much flat earth stuff at the minute, but there will be at some point. It's mainly at the minute. I've been a lot of putting some stuff when we did FEC on Flat Earth chat on Michael's channel. Some chats from there. I've been putting some old chats up, and every now and again I do something biblical or Mandela effect. So yeah, there's a link there, guys. But at the minute it's mainly fishing videos, but there will be more. There will be more.
Yeah. You are becoming a fisher of men.
I mean, no, there's actually less. There's more biblical videos now than there is fishing videos, but yeah, there is, to be honest. But
change your channel's name to Fishers of Men. I think you'll get some subs.
Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah,
you probably will.
All the lessons that you built up in your previous lives. People will say, well, you remember it through intuition, and you get these feelings and you get sort of things in your subconscious mind that will guide you in the right direction. But to me, these are not adequate answers. They're akin to the answers you would get from NASA. Like you said, they've got every answer in the book to explain or to prop up the spinning ball lie. They've got an answer for everything, but are they adequate answers? Do they really explain things?
This I have to agree with him, though. Are they adequate? I mean, I still get the same nonsense from like Where's Wally and stuff. If you go on my Discord channel, you'll see the whole thread where I'm asking him, okay, just demonstrate gas pressure without containment for me. And you know what he keeps sending me? Look at these pictures from space. Look at this rocket in space. Look at the ISS footage. All I want is a demonstration where you can violate gas laws.
Mhm.
All I need. They don't know what a demonstration is.
Nope.
At all.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, Jed, he's very pessimistic, dude. He's very pessimistic, this guy.
Mhm. What's up, Jed? Good to see you.
I
Something
gotta-
tells me he's been very wronged in his life or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta give Sean Hawkins props though. At least he tried to give a demonstration, even though he didn't really understand what was going on there. At least he tried, you know. Yeah, there it goes.
Brilliant.
Does he know when he blew on that piece of paper, he debunked Cavendish?
Yep. Yeah.
The very thing they're claiming is the argument for gas having weight and gravity pulling gas towards Earth. Yeah, it's insane. Oh, and I've got a response to his apology video. I hope you guys watched the video today. I had fun making it. So did you like it, Sov, the soup video?
Oh, I
Soup
loved it.
fry?
I loved it. I thought it was great, man. I posted it in my community post, man. I was like, yeah, you got to have this out there, man.
I told you I was making it specifically for you. I was like, you're going to enjoy this.
I've got to watch it again. I just caught the tail end of it this morning, but it was good. It was good what I seen of it.
He's like whack-a-mole. Have you ever played that game in the arcade where the little moles pop their head up out of the thing? You got to hit him with that hammer. That idiot never learns. He keeps popping his head back up,
He
man.
never learns. Now his so-called apology is him again doubling down with more lies and projection. The guy just doesn't learn.
He
He just doesn't learn. It's crazy.
Or are they just there to pacify people and send them along their way so that they don't ask these big important questions?
Absolutely. I agree with that position. And the message we're getting from a lot of near-death experiences, when you collate them and compare and contrast them, you find that it seems what people are experiencing in this post-life state is whatever they believed they would experience. And this gets into some interesting and dangerous territory if you are one of these people who believes things rather than someone who's constantly skeptical. I've made it a point to not believe in things because I find belief to be a weak epistemic function. Rather than believing in things.
Okay, that I gotta say, sort of hypocritical from him, because he's sort of new age spiritual theology he's pushing is a belief.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So that's hypocritical actually of him. And yes, sorry to break it to everybody. Every single person that exists has a belief of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, atheists, even you have a belief. You have a belief that God doesn't exist. That's a belief. That makes it a religion. Sorry to break it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't know. That's what an agnostic is. And that's a more powerful epistemic function because now you're involved in knowing and not knowing rather than debasing yourself into belief. And
No, you know what that does? It's called fence sitting.
Yeah.
Agnosticism is fence sitting. Sorry to break it. It's fence sitting. I would say it's fine to be an agnostic to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because obviously you're on the right path now. Okay, there is something. But there comes a point when you have to take the agnosticism and say,
Yeah.
I have to choose one or the other. You can't just stay neutral forever.
Yeah, and you can't be like Russell Brand, who takes a bit from every religion and say, like, I like what Jesus says, I like what Buddha did. You know what I mean? I like what what's his name, Muhammad says, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. You can't just take bits from everyone and make it and just go along with it. You got to choose. If you're going to choose, you got to choose. If you got to believe in something, you got to choose one. You can't just take bits from everything and make up your own thing. You know.
Exactly. Hi, Angela. Good to see you. And Jamie C. Level, what's up, man? Good to see you too. But yeah, you can't just take one bit of it and choose what you want to choose, accept or not. That's not how it works. And that's probably why he sits in the position he does today. Because if it doesn't fit his belief, then therefore he just disregards it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well, you don't believe yet? And then other people, like Christians, they elevate belief above knowledge. And they'll say, oh, yeah, it's fine to have these questions, but you need to have faith. And faith is what's
Hey,
going to
Sean,
save
good to see you,
us.
man.
And so in their view, God has purposely made this world mysterious in a way that we can't know. And we are supposed to just believe in a book he left behind.
No.
And that,
Again, you see what I'm saying? Is specifically attacking Christianity.
Yeah, the book says, that book that you're on about, it says test everything.
But God doesn't leave it in. So he's trying to make it sound like it's this cryptic scripture that you've got to try to figure out what's going on. No, it's kind of straightforward.
There's some things
God's
we
very clear.
don't know.
Yeah.
There's some things we don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know. But it's not everything. It's not like the whole Bible's a cryptic crossword or puzzle, something just to be worked out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean,
well, and if he really did study, like he said, into the Christianity aspect of it, he would find. My belief is, I think that during some of that missing time in Jesus's life, I think that he was actually influenced or studied with Tibetan monks, because, dude, everything he had with belief and prayer and everything is right born out of them, man. It's exactly the same thing. You look at the one of the excluded books, the Gospel of Thomas. Holy crap, that's manifestation through prayer. That's exactly what's described in that Gnostic text.
and there's a few Bible books that they left out, but that unfortunately is due to the Catholic Church. Yeah, trying, choosing what's for what.
Yeah, they canonized it. So
yeah, it's just the canon. But then again, I think people over how can I say it? They put too much ideology on the canonized Bible.
Yes,
you should still go and look at the books that are not included, or even the Apocrypha that was taken out.
yeah, because it just
they still have links.
It doesn't say that all Bible is God breathed. It says all Scripture. You know.
Well, you go back and look at the guy that was in charge, Constantine, right? He literally created this, right? And never even adopted it. He didn't adopt it at all, even up to his deathbed. They baptized him after he was dead. That's no kidding. And I think that's kind of like contrary to the point. Baptizing someone who's already dead, isn't the baptism a reemergence into being born into a new way of life?
Yeah, to be baptized, it has to be from self. It's you acknowledging that you're dying to your old self and living to a new you. How do you do it if you're dead?
Exactly. I mean, it's like so many problems right off the bat with these clowns trying to run things.
Yep.
will elevate us to heaven. Again, easy answers. That is just a real, and for some people, like, yep, that makes sense. But for myself, yourself, and so many others, that is just too simple of an answer. Similar to the mind wipe thing. It's a big question of mine. And then people will say, like you said, well, yeah, you erase all your memories, but somehow something is retained through your intuition, and that's how your lessons, are learned and maintained. Really? So we go all the way through school, and then we get an A minus, and then rather than letting us through, they're like, nope, we're going to erase all your memory except for your intuitions about what just happened. Then you got to go through the whole school again until you get an A plus. And if you don't, we're going to erase everything again. You get your intuitions, okay, but
You see what I'm saying? It's just literally saying the same thing over and over in different ways.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
make it
Come on,
taken.
get to the other stuff. I was hoping we are going to really get to the Mandela effect stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
that's what clinched it with me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Should we
Yeah.
try and find where it is? Because I don't know how far it is. Do you guys have a timestamp on where the Mandela effect thing starts?
No clue.
Let's see.
you still got to learn everything. What is this? What forgetting what happened the previous one? These answers, they see Jesus.
Because I mean, I think we've
Angelic
already
being.
answered these questions for them as much as possible. So I'd like to get to the Mandela effect.
Things of light because afterlife experience. What if that's what traps you back?
Right. So along those lines, do you feel that if you're someone who believes or chooses to accept that when our lives are done, we just go into oblivion, we know nothing, we just cease to exist in any kind of way, that could be the kind of experience we have when our lives are done? Because a lot of people will be horrified with that.
But then you're an atheist.
Is that an experience? If you're in oblivion, nothingness, and you don't
Exactly.
feel,
How's the experience?
there's no consciousness or whatsoever or anything, you're not experiencing, are you?
He's a nihilist,
Mhm.
complete nihilist. Everything I've heard him say like that, and I can understand that idea. But this is one of the fundamental questions I've asked people before. They're all the time concerned, where am I going to go when I die? Well, wait a second. How do you know you're actually really here? Okay. This is the test. You're already dead, so to speak, if there was such a thing. This is the test.
Mm.
You're operating from a higher plane in this meat suit, and that's the test. One of my favorite, it's a silly ass show. I don't recommend it for kids, but Rick and Morty, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Him and his grandson, Rick and Morty, they go to this cosmic arcade. Of course, Morty's never been to such a thing. And he sits him down in this chair in front of a video game and plugs this helmet on him. And then boom, he's a little boy and he wakes up in bed and his mom comes in, don't be late for school. And he goes outside and he plays and he goes to school. And pretty soon he's going through his whole little life. It's like this whole little story goes on. And the guy's working one day and then he falls off of the ladder at work and hits the ground. And all of a sudden the screen comes up and says game over. And Rick takes the helmet off of Morty and he's like, what the hell just happened? He says, give me that. I'll show you how it's done. And everybody's watching him going, look at this old guy doesn't have a social security number. What the hell? He's running renegade in the game. But I'm thinking like along those lines, you're operating from a higher plane.
Yeah, my friend used to watch them. I've seen a few of them. I've seen the one with Councillor Ricks. I've seen that one. I've seen a good few of them, but I just can't remember them that well. But I have seen it. I've seen it.
There's if you watch it, the details and things that are going on, are just amazing. But I thought about that. It's like, and I've always thought about it like that. And when I saw that little scene in Rick and Morty, I looked at my wife and I go, yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
Nice. Flat, someone said an hour and 12.
Yeah, I got there. Thank you very much, Sticks. You guys want to go to?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because
whatever you want to do, buddy.
Because I think this is like to death already. But yeah, it's very simple, guys. to break it down, I think let's give finishing statements on this topic, and then we move on to the Mandela. My breaking down statement is this: Mark and Eric, you guys are more than welcome to come and talk. I want to show love, and I'm going to show stern love. You guys know sweet bugger all about the Bible, so stop trying to teach that you do.
Yeah, I think there's just yeah. Sorry. Go on.
And it doesn't help to have a negative look on life and base everything off on that negative perspective. That's why you feel the way you do, and that's why the way you think you see the way you think you do. That's my closing statement.
Yeah, I was just going to kind of echo that.
Oh, that's awesome Bible, mate.
That's look, brilliant.
Oh, you muted, by the way. You muted, so.
So just so you can see what I was talking about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
First book of Moses. Love it.
Wow.
See, there's even like the family, the tree in here. I mean, just the artwork alone is something else. But there's what's most important is this first thing: to the most high and mighty Prince James, by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of the faith, and etc., the translators of the Bible, and it's translators to notes to the reader that are, you're not going to find that in your Bible.
That's an awesome Bible, that man.
Church.
Where did you get it?
I ordered it online.
Okay.
It's got all your holidays listed. And
Nice.
I'm going to see if and it came with, this was really cool. This.
I just have to point out, usually the vegans are the people that's never been on a farm really before.
This is an actual page. I don't know if you can see it real good. This is an actual page out of an actual 1611 King James Bible.
Oh, wow.
Came with it.
Oh, man. That's excellent.
It was about like about $150.
Wow, it's quite pricey.
Yeah, but you get so much more out of it. Like I said, when you start to understand the language, the English language, and realize that it was actually created for this, the English language.
Right.
Yeah, guys, I have to tell you something, that all the people that are, trying to shame people for eating meat, you obviously have never really been to a farm before. Do you know how well kept those animals are?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how strict they are on keeping them as healthy and fed as possible?
Now, I got to contradict that in a way, though. Here in the United States, I don't know how it is over there. We have industrial farming, okay? And like when I was driving out west, I went through Amarillo, Texas. And on the one side of Amarillo, it smells like death for miles. And I was looking ahead, and you know how usually you can see farm pastures are in little squares. They're different colors of green. I saw these different patches of brown and black and white and all that. And as I got closer to it, there was a facility there that was a slaughterhouse. And these were just big, huge pens full of cattle that were chained up to food.
Okay, yeah,
and
that's
just continuously eating. That's all he did. They didn't exercise.
Don't you guys there have also rules, like, because they have very specific guidelines that they have to abide by, so they're not allowed to train the animals up that way. They have to
oh no, this is all FDA approved. What you have to understand about our Food and Drug Administration is the people that head those up. It's a revolving door to the executives working at these great big huge companies like Monsanto. So
they just see money, in other words.
Yes, so they retire from like Merck or a pharmaceutical company, and then they get put in the FDA. And so of course they're going to buddy up with their coworkers, and people from the FDA constantly go and are working for these companies too. It's just a big revolving door. So it's under the guise of oversight, but the reality of it is most of the food we have in the United States is banned in many countries, man.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
insane.
That's why we have so many fat people. It's not food. America is the land of the fat, man. When I was
Obesity
a
is a
kid,
thing
you
there.
never saw it. When I was
Yeah,
a kid,
but I
you
mean,
never saw it.
but think about it. So maybe just think close to you now. How much fast food joints is like in maybe a 5 mile radius from you?
Oh yeah. Well, here's how it works. It's like this, right? Your body on a cellular level triggers a hunger response when it needs things, right? So what happens is the cheapest food, which is what a lot of the poor people can only afford, right, isn't really food. It very little of it is actual food. So they go in and they stuff their belly with this food, and the apostat kicks off, right? So it tells you that I've had enough load down here. So your body starts to digest it. But then on a cellular level, your body goes, hey, man, that last load of stuff you sent down here didn't have what we need in it. Can you please send some more? And so what it does is kicks the apostat back on. So you go right back to the same garbage again and getting another load of that, and your body's just doing the same thing. Meanwhile, you're taking in all these useless calories, all these crap and chemicals.
You're getting junk nutrients.
Exactly.
I mean, I can go and eat for instance, a McDonald's burger or something and get those junk nutrients in, where I can have a bigger meal and get the proper nutrients I want in for even half the price. It tastes more delicious, in my opinion, actually, which is going to satiate me much better, and it's going to actually be beneficial to me. That's why you get these people that can eat like 4 Big Macs or whatever, because it's not a food that satiates you. It actually just makes you want to eat more, because it's almost like a drug.
Yeah.
Well, here's where I live here. They do a lot of chickens, right? Not so much anymore because it worked out. It ended up being kind of a company store type of thing where the people couldn't get out from underneath the parent company at all. But anyway, they have these big, huge warehouse looking chicken houses with thousands of chickens in there. The lights are on all the time. They're constantly being fed. So as long as the lights are on, the chickens will eat. And they turn, because this feed is full of growth hormones, they feed these chickens 24/7 and turn them from a little chick, from what we call a peepee, all the way to a full-size fryer this freaking big in 5 weeks. So then there's so much hormones in that food that they're feeding the chickens that after they clear those chickens out, they go in there with a front end loader, like a little bobcat. They go in there and they scrape up all that litter. That's taken off to be mixed with cattle feed because of the excess hormones. Yes, and it's because of the excess hormones in the chicken feces, and others of it is taken and used for fertilizer on crops with all this crap in it. It's really crazy. And so, we have Leviticus told us the biblical laws of foods, and there's kind of a reason behind it. It's because you are what you eat. So if you're eating shellfish, what do shellfish eat? Garbage and shit. They're filters. So you're eating shit. You become shit yourself. That's where this whole idea of cleanliness of your food comes from. And the United States is terrible, man. The highest amount of obese people is, and there's a lot of them, is in the poorer and lower middle class peoples.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, you guys ready to move on to Mandela effect?
Let's do that, dude.
Let's do this.
The quotes he has is that he doesn't know anything. So why is that so clever for a clever man to tell everyone that even he, that they think is a genius, doesn't know anything? And that's so smart to say that. But it is. It really is, because it's an admission of what's really going on here. We really don't know these things.
The more you know, the more you know you don't know.
Yeah. Well, and we've got that ego, though. the ego does not want to say, I don't know, and the ego wants to be an authority on all things. And especially if you put yourself out there, you be an author, you make videos or something, it's not appealing to admit that you're not an expert in what you're talking about. It's not appealing to say, I'm not an authority on this subject, but I'm...
Sorry, you're not supposed to actually say you're authority on any subject, to be matter of fact. And I don't think people really do, unless you're Sean Hawkins.
You know, his statement though is correct. His statement is, because I'm applying that to these astrophysicists and everything. The ego, and remember what I said the ego is, the ego wants to claim knowledge of everything, even if it has to make it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's what we find with the Globetards, man.
That's true.
It's unfortunately that's exactly what it is. Definitely.
I'm okay with not knowing some things. If it's
Oh
not
yeah,
known,
for
it's
sure.
not known. You know,
I mean, think about it. Not knowing a lot of things is what got us actually in to where we are today. Because you actually have to look into things.
Yep.
And we're more than happy to say things that we don't know.
Exactly. What's the fun in knowing everything? You know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing that annoys the Globies, because they make positive claims on the things. And they can't stand it when we point it out to them. Listen, yeah, you guys are making positive claims. So just prove it.
It's all you got to do.
Keep talking about it. And how are you going to beat the algorithm that way? People want authorities, they want experts and answers. And if all you have is questions with no answers, they're going to go elsewhere. They're going to go to the people with the answers.
Right. So another subject area that seems to tie in with this idea of simulation theory and trapped by the light and all of this is the Mandela effect, so-called, which I think is really badly named, but we know what concept we're talking about here. This is one I've been interested in for the past few years, and there are, as far as I'm concerned, some very clear examples of this phenomenon. I feel there's validity to it. What do you feel about that? And have you got any ideas of what could really be going on here?
I didn't expect that at all.
No, me. No, me. I thought they were going to be right against it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be saying, oh, no, this is rubbish, you know. What? So I didn't expect that, Mark. Okay.
What about
that's what Eric says.
Yeah. Let's see.
I have seen that certain things have changed that they talk about in the sense of, certain video. It tends to happen in mainstream media, DVDs, books, whatever, and they'll change names or phrases or titles from what used to be remembered to something else. And I could see, there's many reasons for doing that, and that is a physical thing that can be done by people, publishing companies, etc. But there's another part of the Mandela effect lore.
Okay. It doesn't sound like he's buying it. Wait a minute.
I think, and this is what I get when I point out Bible changes, verse changes that have happened in the Bible. They say all the time, they go, oh, well, there's many translations, and of course, newer. No, dude, I'm telling you that the Bible on my shelf that has been there, it was Grandma's Bible, it has freaking changed, man.
I got physical things by me as well that has changed. I've got a communion plate that me and my wife got. Okay, this was like 11 years ago, and it's got the Lord's Prayer on there. And the other day I showed it to her, and she read through it. She's like, but this is not what the Lord's Prayer is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's physically changed on there.
Yeah.
We've used this communion plate, so we know what stands on it.
So it's changed to debt now.
To debtors, yeah.
Debts and debtors, yeah.
See, here's the funny thing about that too. If you go to the verse right after the Lord's Prayer, it kind of breaks it down and says, for if you forgive one their trespasses, it's like, wait a minute. Now that's the first instance you see of the word is in the next verse after the prayer.
That's right.
I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't mention anything about trespasses. You said debts. What's going on here?
But yeah, it's definitely spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, I want
Supernatural,
to see how, yeah, it's supernatural. I want to see how Eric would be able to explain how, like you said, your physical Bible has changed by man if it was by your house and printed.
And
Right.
how do you change the location of a continent?
Yeah,
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
New Zealand too.
Mm-hmm.
Which states that, for instance, DVDs in people's own personal collections or books on their shelves have mysteriously changed over time. So when they were young, the Bible on their shelf said one thing, and now when they pick it up, the same physical book says something different.
Mm-hmm.
Now this I have not experienced, and this I have.
Yeah, you can't experience that because you don't read the Bible.
Exactly.
How do you expect to experience that if you haven't read the Bible? Hello. It's kind of common sense.
I don't believe in this. I would have to see a lot of things to make that pass my filter. And even if it was true, I have this big question. It's like, so people that think that, reality is so malleable that DVDs and books on people's shelves are changing. Dolly had braces and now she doesn't. And, Sex in the City, Sex and the City. I have no problem with them putting out different copies of the DVDs, and one is this, one's that. But the idea that the one on your shelf changed, if that's the case, why on earth does the Mandela effect only affect such silly things like DVDs and books?
That is false.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people that don't understand the Mandela effect say that. Always say that.
There's a pattern involved too that would suggest intelligence. There's a definite pattern that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, Staxi says it seems the Mandela effect only changes simple or inconsequential detail, but not more significant events. That's false. What about JF Kennedy's assassination?
The Black Tom explosion.
The Black Tom explosion.
Torpedo Alley.
There we go. There's many very big events that's changed.
Different types of Mandelas, like said, things happened that we never knew happened. You know what I mean? Things came in like Black Tom. We never knew that existed. Now it does. Things have changed. Things have flip-flopped. They're all different types of Mandelas. It is a crap name for it, but still, it's what it's called at the minute. It's how it got named.
Here's the big kicker.
Here's
the big kicker. How many of them have happened that we just automatically took the download on, though? These are ones that are sticking out. How much has our reality actually been changed? But if you look at some of these things we've broken down, there's definitely some kind of a message in it. There's definitely some kind of a message based in the patterns and the connections that we see.
Well, if you want to look at it in the Bible changing scriptures way, just changing one little word from like God to gods or heaven to heavens, it changes the scripture's meaning. And the Bible is specifically talking about the end times and how people will, even the elect, will be misled. And I strongly believe that Satan is changing these scriptures with one word to change the context to get people to not rely on the word.
There's winky face emojis now, like you use with a semicolon and then a parentheses. You never put a semicolon before a parenthesis. That's never done. But now they flip-flopped. Okay. Now I'll tell you what happened to me. This is really crazy. And this suggests to me divine intervention. Okay. So when I started looking into this stuff, I went down to the thrift store and I bought this King James Bible so I could mark it up and I didn't have to mark up my other Bibles. Okay. So I got this King James Bible and I start in here and I was in Exodus 34:14. And I was highlighting this where it says, for thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, with a capital J, is a jealous, and then it says, is a jealous God. So I started flipping through these papers, you know, and going through the pages to find another one that I knew of. And out of this thing, I had just got it at the thrift store, a little bookmark fell out. And the only thing that was written on it was Psalm 83:18. Not even, it's not in my writing. This was from the previous owner. So I says, wonder what that is. So I went to Psalm 83:18 and it said that men may know that thou whose name alone is Jehovah art the most high over the earth. And I was like, wait a minute. What are the chances that I just got done highlighting and going over that Mandela effect? And then that piece of paper just happens to fall out of the very Bible and directs me to a scripture giving me God's name. What?
Exactly. And then people want to say God doesn't speak to you. Come on. Exactly.
I did a video on that scripture as well about jealous, God's name being jealous. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Roger Ledwell, thank you very much for your $2 super chat, man. Really, really appreciate it. Says, so he won't come on here? Nope, he won't come on here, man. He is linked. Him and Mike, they are more than welcome to come chat. Really appreciate the super chat. Go and let them know we want to talk. But yeah, you see, this is the irony where I say where you get the people say, but God doesn't answer me. God doesn't talk to me. If you just literally realize that's a way God talks to you, that is, what are the chances of that? Come on.
Right.
Exactly.
They expect words, you know, probably if they heard a voice that sounded like Orson Welles, then they might listen, but it's not given to you in words.
No.
Okay, you got to be able to
in different ways.
No.
You ever heard that story about the guy in the flood? Where they warned him about floods and a truck showed up and said, hey, come on, this place is going to flood. We can get you out of here. He says, no, he says, I'm going to wait on the Lord to save me. Right. And so then he got up to the point where the water got so high he was on the roof of his house, and a guy in a boat came by and says, hey, you better get off there. I can take you to dry land. And he says, no, he says, I'm going to wait for God to save me. So a little while later, a helicopter showed up and said, hey, grab this rope ladder. We can get you to safety. And he says, I'm waiting for the Lord to save me. So the water came up and he drowned. He got up to heaven and he says, what happened? I was waiting for you to come save me. He says, what are you looking for? I sent you a truck. I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. You didn't take any of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Why doesn't whole cities disappear, or why aren't there huge things happening? Why is it just these tiny little subjective things that nobody can even confirm or deny?
Well, let me just
No, we just told you a few very big things. I mean, even continents laying in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on. It shows you he hasn't looked into the subject. He's just looked at the mainstream, heard about the mainstream aspects like, oh, Dolly's braces, or Luke, I'm your father, and that's about it. And then just left it at that. So he hasn't actually done any research into this.
throw one in there, if I may, which is from my own personal observation, the sun seems to have changed. So I always remember the sun as being a golden orange, a golden yellow, you know, throughout the day. Now I see it as a beautiful golden orange at sunset and at sunrise, but when it's at its apex in the middle of the day, it's white. The sun is now white.
The sun has always been white.
No, I tell you, Flatzoid, I remember a really yellow, warmer sun during my childhood, and I would have to say that in the early 2000s, I started noticing, I was like, God, that thing's harsh. And I'd see reflections on windshields, and I'd be like, holy crap, why is the sun so bluish white?
White
but
now.
yeah, in South Africa, it's always been that. But for me, in South Africa, it's always been that way, unfortunately. I've always seen it that way. But then again, I'm closer to the equator could be the reason. I don't know.
I think that the sun is directly connected somehow to your consciousness. This is why we sleep at night and we work at, and we are awake during the day. We're energized through the day and we sleep at night. That's how our cycle goes. I sun gaze. I stare at the sun, and wow, do I get my brain energized, my body energized. I feel great afterwards. It's like you just feel clean. It's just
That
beautiful.
vitamin D.
Yeah, man. And this
Especially
is
with,
really so. This eclipse that's coming, I'm going to Ohio to view it so I can videotape it and stuff.
Nice.
And now a lot of these places are issuing out emergencies. They've already put out the national emergencies and shit in their area where the path of totality's at. And people are saying, oh, that's because they won't be supplied. There'll be a run on gas and there'll be a run on food and stuff. And I'm like, wait a second. They got plenty of time to prepare for that. This is going to be a boondoggle for anybody's economy that's in that path. Hotels are going to sell rooms. Restaurants are going to sell food. Gas stations are going to sell gas. You got to be kidding me. So and they always tell you don't look at the eclipse. And I'm like, why? I look at the straight ass sun all the time. How is blocking it out going to hurt me? Right? They don't want you looking at it. They want you to not go see it. Because I think that this is going to be something that's going to aid in this grand rising that seems to be happening amongst people, this consciousness level rising that we're seeing happening to people every day.
Yep, definitely. But I mean, I specifically love winter, yeah, because when it's winter, I love to just go and sit, close my eyes, and just sit in the sun a bit. And after like 10 minutes of just sitting there, and you stand up, you just feel energized. So it's definitely something to it.
Yeah, we're electric. It's electric. It makes sense, man.
Yeah, I'm the same as that. And I feel the sun was yellow. I remember it being yellow when I was a kid. Now it's like piercing white.
Yeah.
I'm from a different parallel universe. I'm joking.
Or it falls in line
remember
with
it being-
what I was saying. It falls in line with what I've been saying. Because we don't all have the same Mandela effect. Some people, even within that, recognize the Mandela effects when there's a certain group of people that are like, yeah, I remember this being this way. And they're going, now, see, I remember it always being that way. And I look at it like we've taken downloads, so to speak, like Brian Staveley says, without even knowing it.
But think
And
about it
some
this
of
way.
us
How
have.
do we know we're actually all looking at the same sun?
That's exactly right. We're not. I think everybody's own.
How do we know there's not more than one sun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
just
even
really
know what
weird.
that thing is, man. That's
Exactly.
the whole thing. You know, these people, well, it's easy to calculate the distance to the sun. Oh, yeah, that's why they've gone all the way from 3 million miles up to 105 million miles and then back down to 93 million miles. That's only, you know, if you had an accountant that was that bad, you'd fire him.
Exactly. But apparently it just gets their scrutiny just gets better. The way they do the calculations become better. That's rubbish.
All right.
If you're supposed to claim a geometric shape, okay, of geometry, and you're claiming everything works off of that geometry perfect, you won't change the distances. It can't change.
All they're doing is scaling it.
That's what they're doing. They're running with a scale. Let's make it a bit bigger and a bit further away, or a bit smaller and a bit closer away. That's it.
Yep.
That literally shows they have a bias.
And so I've told people, like, it's also the space station. You know, I could have something a quarter the size of the space station, that's a quarter the distance of it, and going a quarter the speed of it, that what they're telling you, and you would have no way of knowing. I could tell you the distance and scale that up while the actual thing is really scaled down.
Well, think of it. Let's look at the parallax when it comes to speed as well. If things are further away from you, due to the parallax, things move slower. If things are closer, they move faster. Okay? So it's very possible that ISS, you're calculating it 400 whatever kilometers away, could be something smaller, closer to you.
Right.
That's moving slower, but because it's closer and smaller, it looks faster because you have a bias to make it be further and bigger.
Right, because you got your distance and your size was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not hard to do.
Nope.
In white. Seems like something's gone on there.
Not sure about that one, but don't know if that would be part of the Mandela effect.
Why wouldn't it
or
be
not.
part of the
Could
Mandela
just-
effect? That's exactly what would be part of the Mandela effect. It remembers the sun to be yellow and now it's white. That is verbatim a Mandela effect.
be whatever it is.
Right. It just seems like reality has changed in some way.
I mean, to me that sounds like climate change, and people are trying to say, "Oh, climate change, it's a thing now." It's like, well, yeah, but the climate always changes. So with the sun or with
That's
books.
called
Or
obfuscation tactic, by the way. Yeah, it's a red herring. It's trying to demotivate your argument by trying to change the subject now and saying, let's just say your argument's rubbish because of climate change, which is absolutely sweet bugger all to do with the argument.
whatever. It's like, yeah, people change books, or I don't know. We don't know the ultimate nature of the sun. The fact that it changed could have to do with anything. But the idea that you're not you, but people are mixing them all into this one thing and calling it this Mandela effect, like the name. It's.
I just got to quickly ask something because I see they're still going with Sean or whatever on vegan. Is Sean vegan?
No, he's vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Okay, I thought it was vegan because
Yeah.
I want to ask all the vegans in chat. Do you know that it's more harmful to nature to be a vegan than it is to be a carnivore?
So I'm a meat eating vegan veggie pescatarian. So I am.
Let's put it this way. Do you know those plantations where they grow all your vegan foods? They have to kill all the bugs that try and go there. They have to kill all the animals that try and go there. They have to kill anything off that has any resemblance of trying to eat the stuff for food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kill more nature. This is so ironic. The vegan farms kill more of nature to make you guys feel better morally than what the actual meat production companies do.
Well,
This
they've
is really
actually
insane. Sorry?
here in the United States approved the use of human sewage for fertilizer. Tell me that ain't nasty as hell.
Oh,
That's lovely. Methane City.
They got the idea from Matt Damon.
Salt says,
Salt
no, they
says-
really don't clap.
yes, they do.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes, they do.
Matt Damon, Mars, that Mars film, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, little poo potatoes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ah,
Good film.
That was so nasty.
After Nelson Mandela, people having two different ideas about his life and death, I guess. So it just seems more subjective than objective, but it seems like they're trying to turn it into an objective thing by calling it Mandela effect. But to me, it just seems like a very subjective thing.
Okay. So we should probably get on to cosmology. What do you think?
Is that what it is?
Spinning ball denial.
Right.
Was that the Mandela effect?
He disagreed with him. He kind of disagreed with them, so they didn't talk about it. Oh, so they found something they disagreed on, and they didn't want to talk about that. Wow. Okay. What did you say about that?
Salt, yes, they cause far less dramatic meat eating, but it doesn't cause less killing of nature. You're
Right.
not getting the point. To keep their crops vegan friendly, they have to kill everything that is a threat to that plantation. Get it?
if it's cute and furry, they can't kill it. But you know, how many rabbits does that entail? Little sweet, fluffy bunny rabbits trying to get some veggies. Yeah, got to take them out too, man.
Meat is acid forming in the body like processed sugar. Okay.
Rabbit's pretty good too.
And one of the things I get batted back at me so often when I might say to somebody that I reject the spinning Earth, heliocentric model, is they'll say, please explain to me how a lunar eclipse works. And they'll just leave it at that. They just fire that question at you like that blows the entire theory out of the water. But it is the most common question that you seem to get. Please explain how a lunar eclipse works if the Earth is not moving and everything's moving around us.
And then you just answer by saying, we don't know. But you know what we do know? You have a positive claim to say you do know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the answer should be.
And then
you see how they spiral.
I ran the shadow ratios, and according to so you get this 70 mile shadow that's created by the moon, which is 2,160 miles. All you need to do is take the diameter of the Earth and create a ratio, and from that ratio, you'll find that you'll only have a little black dot go across the moon during a lunar eclipse that would be about 1/10 the diameter of the entire moon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's not how blooming shadows work. Shadows are always bigger than the object that makes them.
Exactly. It doesn't work. Exactly. But INF is also true. Yeah. You need proteins from meat for a reason, guys. So to say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when it comes to eclipses and shadows, the shadow alone debunks their claim of the size for the moon and the shadow. So,
one of the first things a cult will do is introduce a diet that is free of animal protein, and and really what it happens is the people start to get a little bit dull-witted. Evidence of this: take a look throughout the animal kingdom. Which one is smarter, a fox or a rabbit? A sheep or a wolf? A lion or a gazelle? Right? You can tell which ones have got the intelligence. In fact, there was a case where a chimpanzee had killed a jaguar. It was trying to attack her young.
Yeah.
And within about a week and a half, her and her babies were running the whole troop of fucking chimps, man.
Crazy. Oh, I see Sean Hawkins is showing the video of today, guys.
Oh, is he now?
Oh, is he?
Really surprised.
Yeah, Sam and Mouse are the most uneducated liars on the tube. On YouTube. Just because we literally showed verbatim how the guy was wrong, and yeah.
Sean likes to call people what he is, he always calls people.
Yeah, that's projecting.
Yeah.
But at least because of us, he's getting 9 watching now, so you're welcome, Sean. He's got 9 people watching, so he's welcome. Double that he usually gets. Okay, let's carry on.
Do you have an easy answer to that?
Or explain X, Y, Z. I get not just the eclipse, but explain how Foucault pendulums work, or explain the Coriolis effect. But I do find that interesting that their rebuttal or their claim of skepticism comes in the form of explain this then. It's not.
Yeah.
Explain this then. Yeah. That's so true. They do need that. They need us to replace their religion. When we show their religion stuff false, and they want us to replace it. Have you not seen this lately with the gravity gas pressure gradient thing as well? Oh, we can say gravity causes gas pressure. Well, remember when you get Craig, well, why is the air not rushing up?
Right.
Oh, man.
My whole thing is, why isn't it pushing down?
Yeah. I mean,
I
they
don't know.
claim it pushes down. That's why they're claiming it has weight. So if it's not pushing down, then why are you claiming it has weight?
Right, exactly. Listen, I
Is-
was completely, because like I said, my dad was he was a diver when he was younger, of course, and he was in fact he'd volunteered when somebody drowned in a lake to go hunting for the body in the lake. Anyway, I grew up on a lake. I knew about pressure and what it did underwater and everything, and I wasn't aware until like just recently that they actually think that the air pressure was caused by the weight of it. I was like, I've always known it's been the displacement. That's why I've had such a problem with it. I'm like, how are you displacing an uncontained gas? That's dumb. And now they're claiming that it's from the weight of the gas. That's dumber than hell. I have no faith in these people at all now. I mean, at all. I mean, they're just willfully dumb. I mean, I can't believe anybody would even entertain that dumb idea.
Crazy. I'm just going to quickly put on screen something because they don't seem to care. How can I say? They don't seem to believe what I say. So here's your citation. Vegans don't realize billions of animals are killed growing crops, says farmer. This is plant-based news, guys. The crop death argument is commonly used against plant-based diets. Does being vegan really kill more animals than eating meat? Vegans don't realize how many animals are killed to protect the fruit and vegetables, according to the Australian pig farmer and author. It's commonly argument used against the vegan lifestyle, but advocates for plant-based diets say there's more to the story. Former Matthew Evans is former chief who now raises pigs and cows for meat and milk. Evans explored the issue of crop deaths in 2019 book of Eating Meat. The book calls on omnivores and vegans alike to look at the impact of their food choices. Evans says that around 40,000 ducks are killed annually for Australian rice.
Damn.
Yeah, for rice, guys.
Wow.
Who's getting that sweet duck? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, while 1 billion mice are poisoned to protect wheat in Western Australia. Okay, I don't think we need to go on with that, do we?
Mm.
Do you need more citation telling me I'm wrong?
Wheat is murder. Wheat is murder.
Do you know what's the irony about this stuff? Okay. The irony is these are the same people that want to say, "Oh, you're killing a fly. It's sad. You're a hater. You're killing creation." But the damn things you are eating causes much more death than. So I think it's hypocritical to go and tell people you shouldn't eat meat. You're just like the murderers who kill that livestock to eat the meat. Well, then we can say, well, you're in it to kill over 1 billion rats, over 40,000 ducks. How's that? Does that sound nice?
My dogs love duck.
Oh yeah, duck's delicious.
Yeah, man.
Uh-huh.
I saw Lou in here talking about the gas chamber and putting air in a container and wearing more.
Yeah.
He's another one that can't understand what the hell was being said about the object in the vacuum chamber becoming heavier when the air is removed from inside of the vacuum chamber where the object and the scale are at. Sean.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Don Logan. Yes, we are live, mate. Good to see you. Yeah. And Luch is in the house. What's up? Okay, I think we can end this stream here because they're just not really talking about anything, but we can just talk maybe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just have a go. Guys, and by the way, you're allowed to come in for a discussion. The link is on top if you want to come in because the stream will be ending in about a half an hour, so we can go to the pre-show for the debate. Woohoo!
That's going to be great, man. I can't wait. That's going to be great. This guy's going to freaking melt down before it's over.
Oh, he's gonna suffer. What am I doing? I want to end stream. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Don, I'm good, bro. Good to see you here, man.
I got an idea. Wouldn't you guys want to have a debate on veganism?
Ooh.
So, because we seem to have a lot of vegans in the flat Earth, flat Earth arena as well.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
more than happy to debate against veganism. If you want to debate, let me know. I'm more than happy. What's up, Brian Stavely? Good to see you. Glad you could make it, man.
So I put Nick Volt's children in the guest. The guy come on drunker in hell and he says, "Are you denying that my kids suffered in the Holocaust?" And I'm going, "Yes, Nick, I am going to
Yes.
deny that. Yes, 100%.
I don't think Nick Volt's old enough to have his children in the Holocaust.
No. He's younger than me, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what, Nick Volt, dude, he actually came on my show a few times when he started coming to the scene, and we had some good conversations. But I think he saw he couldn't get anywhere with me because we were chatting about gravity and stuff. And since then, he just never returned.
Well, he come on my show one night and he said, "I could easily tell you the distance to the moon by merely taking this," and he held up like a little cap or something. He said, "All I have to do is make this perfectly eclipse the moon and then do a calculation based on the distance of that object to my eye, and I could tell you how far away the moon is." And I said, "Well, then you'd get the same distance for the sun, wouldn't you?" Well, no, I wouldn't, because why? Use the same method, right? You're going to hold it in the same place, just switch it to be in the sun now. Okay, now the sun and the moon are the same distance, and that's what you're telling me.
So,
Yeah.
He got mad.
I wonder why.
there's no way-
Brian, you want to come? Brian, you want to maybe come in for a chat, man? The link is above on the top if you want to come in. Brian's doing an awesome job at the moment. He's really on par. Really, really killing it.
Oh, he's living that bachelor life with his new lake house apartment and his fancy job at the bar. Not the bar, the bar.
The bar.
He just thinks he's hot snot
Yeah.
on fine china. Well, I'm here to tell you, Brian Stavely, you're just cold boogers in a Dixie cup, buddy.
So I'm going to go against my diet now and get myself a piece of cake so I can have energy for when I have to face Craig just now.
Hey, that's a good strategy, bro. That's a good strategy.
Why not?
Meanwhile, Craig's down in about 15 Adderall. So he can try to-
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna. Yeah, that dude, Nick, he got drunk and he said he wanted to fight me. He said, "I'm gonna come and pound your ass," and I'm like, "Do you think you might want to rephrase that?" You know.
Wow, people need to really think what they're saying, don't they?
Yeah, and so he was sitting there and saying, "Okay, I can get a flight." I said, "All right." And he says, "Where do I fly to?" And I says, "Okay, you fly into Dulles or you can go into Reagan International. They're both in DC." And he says, "Okay." And he says, "And then how do I get to you?" I says, "Well, then you'll have to rent a car and you'll have to drive about an hour and a half southwest." Ooh, that looks good.
My wife makes the best chocolate cake, hands down. And it's all your fault, Craig, that I have to cheat on my diet now.
Am I right? Is she of German heritage?
No.
No? Okay. I was going to say, man.
She's Afrikaans, so she's got probably some Dutch heritage.
Okay. I was going to say some of the best chocolate cake that I ever had was when I was in Germany. Man, that was amazing. I loved it. It's not like that now, but when I was in Frankfurt, it was amazing. You get up in the morning and every little bakery in the city is pumping out shit. I mean, you get up and you're like, "The hell with eggs. I'm going to the pastry shop. I know I can smell what they're cooking." And it was great. It wasn't like cities here, but I guess now it has gotten more like cities here.
And I'm eating this cake. And I'm eating this cake to piss the vegans off.
Luke can't wait for the debate. He must be sadistic. He must like to see his
Yeah, well, his superhero is going to get demolished by me, so obviously he can't.
He's
Oh my
sadistic.
God! You know, there's two types of veganism. There's strict veganism, and then there's ovo-lacto vegetarianism. And like when in my family, a lot of them are. And when I was growing up, was Seventh-day Adventists, and a lot of those, because of the prophecies of Ellen White, go with an ovo-lacto vegetarian diet. And that includes, you can have milk and eggs and cheese and things like that, you know, just not meat. And it's ironic though, because one of the things, this girl, she had got hit in the head with a rock or some kind of crap like that and went into a coma when she was a little girl. And then when she came out of the coma, she was able to have these visions. And as I've heard it told, she could hold up like that King James Bible I was showing you. She could hold one of those out in one arm and be prophesizing. And even grown men couldn't even pull her arm down. Anyway, one of the things was that she prophesied about was that meat was going to become very contaminated in the future. And there again, along Leviticus, you are what you eat. And so she prophesied that. And lo and behold, here we are, you know, where it is got to a point, unless you buy farm raised, you know, like I'm lucky, I live in an agricultural area. So I can go in like 4 ways with some people on an entire cow and pay that farmer, and that farmer will grow that cow, grass feed it, everything like that, and butcher it. And all we have to do is go and pick it up frozen, ready to go, chopped into steaks and everything. And it's so much better. Like I was saying about that thing about your body going, hey, we need some stuff down here. I'll tell you what, you can eat just a smaller portion of that than you would normally. And you're already sated. You're like, oh, that's really good. I'm good, man. I'm full. And you're not going back for any more until like the next day. Same thing. I found that with free range organic chickens versus the ones you buy at your major supermarket. Those big ass chickens ain't supposed to be that big.
I mean, I actually just eat free range chicken and eggs and things. It satiates you much better than this processed rubbish you get at the supermarkets and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Well, you know, like milk. Okay, people drink a lot of milk and stuff, but it has to be pasteurized. But you know, when milk goes past its date, that awful smell and that awful taste, that doesn't happen to whole milk that's not been pasteurized. When it starts going, it starts smelling more like cheese. It'll eventually become buttermilk, you know? And I mean, it's just like, in a long enough time, it'll become cheese, but it doesn't become this rancid, disgusting smelling mass in your refrigerator.
Don Logan says PJ is Scottish, so he only eats deep fried meat. Yeah, deep fried meat with batter. Remember, Don, I'm Scottish. We got a batter with everything.
Yeah, they made it against the law to sell unpasteurized milk here in the United States. And there was a guy, he was an Amish farmer, and he set up a club where you paid your dues and you could go there and get whole milk. And the FDA and shit went in and shut him down. And all it was like a co-op type operation. They don't want you healthy. They don't want you eating. And one of the things I found when you eat that like organic beef and completely farm raised free range chicken, it's not only is it much tastier, but it's sort of like you get this feeling inside, like your body goes, oh, thank you so much. You know, you can feel it. You feel good all over, you know?
Exactly. I mean, we used to, at a stage, get fresh milk from the farmers. So I used to go like at 5:30 in the morning, go to a farm, and I get fresh milk. Do you know the difference that the cream that comes off that fresh milk is so different to the full cream you get at the supermarket?
Yeah.
It shows you how watered down even their full cream is.
Vicky says, Don, PJ eats whatever I put in his shopping. That's about right.
Now I'm thirsty again. Okay, so guys, I think we're going to do 8 more minutes of this, and we're going to end the show. Then we're going to go to the pre-show for the debate. So, guys, I got the link for the debate in the top. Do click on there, and we'll see you guys there in about 8 minutes. Really looking forward to that debate. I hope you guys will all be there over and supporting. It's going to be a great debate as we watch Craig get triggered nonstop.
We're going to go see Luke's cry in chat.
Is that Lou's hero? Is he?
Yeah. Yes.
Is
Yeah. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, Jamie, debate tonight. It's going to be in a half an hour on Modern Day Debate, but I am streaming it on my channel. So, guys, do make sure you do support me on my channel. It'd be great to see you guys there. And share the show. Yeah, hit the like, share the show. The link is on top. It's pinned. Click it. And
Don.
Yeah.
Don, where I'm from, yeah, it's square sausage. Where I'm from in Scotland, we call it sausage. Just sausage squares, we call sausage meat, but it's the same thing. Square sausage, yeah. That is good. You don't see it you don't see it much down here.
Well, PJ, it looks like you're kind of in a spot, and I will just give you this little bit of advice from what I'm reading here in the chat from Miss Mod Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Don't screw with the people who prepare your food, man.
Exactly. That reminds me. I saw an article or something of a woman. She we can call her a wife. She was married to a guy, and she was trying to get money out of him. She wanted to literally murder him by poisoning him slowly with she gave him coffee every morning.
Ooh.
And she was slowly poisoning him in the coffee. He was just getting sick, and he couldn't figure out why. And yeah, she tried to kill him so she can get his money.
I saw what didn't the dude set up a
hidden
secret
camera
and caught her putting shit in his coffee. Yeah.
But I mean, how can you marry someone? And I just don't know. That's like insane. The world today is sick.
Yeah.
Trip Canada, there is no land shortage. Do you know that we can literally all move to Canada if we want to, and we'll still all be quite far apart from one another?
And that's if there really is 8.5 billion people.
Exactly. That's not to say there really is.
I'm calling BS on that. I just am. I mean, that's how. First off, how would you know this? That's based on a projection. I mean, they haven't actually gone around and counted every single person. Had every government, every country go ahead and just comply with a massive world census. Get out of here.
I'm sorry, has anybody contacted you guys to find out if you exist?
No.
Oh, I did get a thing from a census bureau here in my mail, and so I threw it in the garbage. And then a few weeks later, somebody from the government came to the house, and they asked me who I was, and I told them it was none of their business. They asked me if I lived there. I said it was none of their business, and then I told them they had to go. And so
it's crazy.
Yeah, me and government don't get along at all. I don't.
Govern.
You know,
well, they are there to govern your mind, so
that's what it means. Governor mentis, control of the mind, man.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the sad truth.
It only exists here. It really only exists here. What if everybody said, kiss my ass? What would they do? We're not going to be violent, but we're not going to listen to you anymore. Okay?
Yeah, they don't realize it's like doing it this way. Let's imagine a whole stadium full of people, okay? And you got 5 people sitting in the middle of the stadium. And those 5 people are telling everybody in the stadium what to do.
Yep.
Now imagine everybody in the stadium decided, sorry, you're not going to tell us what to do. What are those 5 people going to do?
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing. That's the whole thing. And it'd be like, hey, look, if you love your prestige and hanging out up there in that marble palace and giving speeches to each other and shit, have fun. We're not going to listen. And oh yeah, you're not being paid anymore either. So have fun. That's all you have to do. Peaceful non-compliance. It's that simple. If everybody just said no, bite me, I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
It only takes a few to get it started. You understand? I saw a thing. It was a really cool video. It was at this music festival they had going on. And you see this one guy, he stood up and he just started dancing. And he wasn't the best dancer in the world, but he was feeling the music and doing his thing. And other people are kind of looking at him like, boy, is that guy kind of weird and shit. After a couple minutes, another guy came up near him and he was dancing too. It gave him the courage to go ahead and start doing it, right? Next thing you know, within 3 minutes, the whole crowd of people was up dancing. Just from that one guy breaking the paradigm and not giving a shit what the other ones thought. That's all it takes, man.
Norman says Scottish chippies that he went to are terrible. They had chips and cheese instead of chips and gravy. Yeah, we have chips, cheese, and gravy. That's what I used to have at school dinners. They were brilliant.
A pie, gravy, and chips.
Nice.
What kind of pie?
I usually like a mutton curry kind of pie or a pepper steak.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. All right. You guys have different, there's all these different terminologies for stuff.
Yeah, you guys have things like apple strudel pie and
your pies are more sweet, aren't they? They're more sweet.
We talk about savory pies kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. Like we have what they call them pot pies.
That's it. Steak pies and that. Pies. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, like you have chicken pot pies and there's peas and carrots and everything all in there, or beef pot pies like that. We do that. But yeah, normally when you say pie, it means like cherry or apple or even pumpkin. I don't know. Sometimes they call them biscuits. What we call cookies, a sweet like a chocolate chip cookie. They call it a biscuit.
Yeah, we call it biscuit.
We call it biscuit. The little bread that you make that goes along with your breakfast. That's a biscuit.
Yeah. But we have biscuits and we have cookies though. The cookies, cookies are different to biscuits for us. I mean, they're made of the same thing, but you have cookies and you have biscuits. They're a different thing. They're the same kind of sweetness.
Poontang.
They've got the separate
pie.
Poontang pie. You wouldn't know nothing about that dose of reality. Brian,
okay, guys. I think we're going to end the stream here, and then we're going to go over to the pre-show for the debate. So I'll see you guys there.
You doing a different?
Yeah, it's a different restream link.
Okay.
So I'll put the restream link now in that chat, and I'll email it to you, Solve, because I think it's easier for you.
Oh, I can do it right from the chat. No problem.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'll see you guys there now. Cheers, everybody. See you now.